This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Dubai, the playground for all the rich and powerful, where influencers boast about their passive income while they're sipping cocktails at the most expensive beach clubs. But what's it really like working as a freelancer and as a regular person in this city, which is supposedly a tax haven and a paradise for entrepreneurs? Well, it's now been a full year since my family and I moved here, and I want to break down how much money we made, all of our expenses, and whether it was all worth it, all while I take you through a typical day in our life here. Now, to give you some context, my wife and I are freelancers working in the wedding industry. We typically cover around 20 to 30 weddings each year, which keeps us super busy all year round since we shoot the weddings, we edit the weddings, and we do all the sales and marketing, just the two of us. And since we cover weddings in multiple countries, what allows us to work seamlessly on our business and side hustles is NordVPN. Now, NordVPN is an online VPN service that encrypts your internet traffic and hides your IP with physical location. They have more than 5,000 servers in over 15 countries around the world. Now look, I've been using NordVPN even before starting my business. It is by far the fastest VPN I've ever used, and with one single click, I can connect to any country around the world and know that my physical IP is secured. All the files and documents I share with my clients are safe from malware, and they even have an advanced security feature called Kill Switch, which will block your internet access until the connection to Nord's VPN server is restored. Now, the cool thing about NordVPN is that they have loads of payment options, and with one single subscription, you can connect up to 10 devices, including actually your mobile phone. Since I'm regularly on the go on multiple public Wi-Fi networks, checking my bank account and dealing with online client documents, NordVPN gives me comfort knowing that my data is safe with their secure encryption. If you'd like to try out NordVPN, you can use my link in the description and get 4 months for free on a 2-year plan. If you find that it's not for you, NordVPN have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is essentially zero risk involved. Thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Now, unlike most influencers in this city, we don't wake up at 5 AM to go to the gym or have some fancy coffee at Starbucks. I have a regular morning with breakfast, coffee, and I spend some time with my family. About an hour after waking up, I open my laptop, check through my emails, follow up on messages, and try to do all the admin work so I get it out of the way as early as possible. Then I do about 2 hours of light editing work for clients. Okay, so how much money do we really make as freelancers here? Well, over the past year, we made close to $90,000, which is almost twice the median annual income. And as long as you're freelancing and your income doesn't exceed $102,000 per year, you're exempt from paying any taxes. Now, that sounds all well and good, but there are some costs to consider and also some disadvantages, which we'll get to in a bit. After some light editing work, we usually head out for a walk with the family. Dubai has some super nice weather between October and April, making it an ideal escape for Europeans during the winter. After our walk, I spent some time on my other side hustles. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that apart from freelancing, I run an Etsy store selling website templates for other wedding photographers. I generally spend maybe 4 to 5 hours working on new website designs and just trying to scale this store into a sustainable business in the near future. So in February 2024, it's been a full year since I've been running this store, and we made close to $7,000 on the side. Now, that doesn't sound like too much, but when you consider that I made about 3 websites in one go, and I posted those websites and I let them sell in the background, that's some pretty good passive income. And as I said, while our annual income is almost twice the median annual income here in Dubai, we still need a side hustle besides freelancing just to cover the costs, which I'm gonna get into now. First is visa, permits, and just generally running your business. So in Dubai, as an expat and as a freelancer, you can't actually get a citizenship. You have to renew your residency visa, and that costs you money every 2 years. In total, for our freelancing permit, our residency visas, and our health insurance, we pay around $2,300 per year. That means about 2% of our annual income, which is still very good, considering that in Europe we paid around 27% of our annual income in taxes. The second cost to consider is rent. The average annual rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is around $27,000. This is of course dependent on where exactly you live. We pay around $2,100 per month for a 2-bedroom apartment, and that includes all bills and expenses such as electricity, gas, water, and crucially, air conditioning. Now, unlike New York, for example, where your annual salary needs to be 40 times the monthly rent, here in Dubai, we don't have such requirements, but there is a pretty strange rental system. Here we pay our rent in checks, and most landlords require upfront payments in either 1 or 2 installments for the entire rental year. Now, from a liquidity standpoint, that's not very good for renters because once you sign your rental agreement, you need to have at least a full year's worth of rent in your bank account. With that being said, you can rent some pretty cheap apartments the further away you look into the city, but then you have to consider the cost of transportation as well. Now, Dubai, since it's a relatively new city, has a public transportation system that's mostly limited to central areas of the city, which means that a large percentage of the population depends on a car to get around. Now, compared to the US or even Europe, buying or renting a car is actually a lot cheaper. If you want to rent a car, you'll likely pay between $400 and $600 per month. That includes the rental price of the car plus gas depending on how much mileage you do on a daily basis, but still, that's considerably cheaper than compared to the West. So after spending some time developing a website, we either head out again, or if we have a wedding, we go out and obviously shoot that wedding. Now, since shooting a wedding is more exciting, I thought I'd take you behind the scenes of a wedding we are actually doing today. So this is the pinnacle of influencer lifestyle here in Dubai. Nissan Sunny, but I mean, as I said, the car that gets you from point A to point B, this thing costs like $300 per month, so you can't really get a vehicle for that price anywhere else. So a lot of people complain about the traffic situation in Dubai, and to be honest, it's not that much worse than any other major city like New York or London. But as you can see right now, we're actually stuck in traffic and we're in a 6-lane road, so yeah, it can get pretty tough sometimes. So we just got home, got finished with like half a day of work. So now I think we're gonna go do some grocery shopping, and I'm gonna show you guys how much groceries cost in Dubai and just how organized and how clean all the stores are here. And the thing is, in Dubai, groceries are a whopping 52% cheaper than in New York and 73% cheaper compared to Paris, which is just wild. Now, obviously, prices tend to fluctuate a lot depending on the store you go to, but a store in Dubai has much cheaper prices than the exact same store in Paris or in New York. Now, going back to the cost, since we have a child, we also need to factor in childcare. And nannies are extremely popular in Dubai. Basically, 8 out of 10 households rely on the services of a nanny, since as a mother, you're only entitled to 45 days of fully paid maternity leave. The average monthly salary you have to pay to a nanny is between $700 and $800, plus you have to cover her residency visa as well, which sets you back around $2,500 for every 2 years. So all in all, covering a nanny's salary plus her visa would set you back around $800 to $900 per month. Medical insurance is another cost to take into consideration. Since you're not paying any taxes, the government won't just give you free medical insurance. This sets you back around $1,200 per year depending on the type of coverage you're looking for. So actually putting all the numbers into perspective, annually we pay around $25,000 for rent, transportation is around $7,200 annually, groceries about $9,600, healthcare $1,200, and at the moment we're not hiring a nanny full-time, so we're spending very little on childcare, and the residency visa plus cost of running our business annually is about $2,300. I've also added quite a big buffer for other expenses, such as when we go out to eat or go for a staycation or invest further into our business. So I've added around $3,000 to $5,000 per year. So in the end, after all the expenses, we ended up saving around $42,000 last year, which is about 46% of our annual income. So the big question is Dubai really worth it? Now look, we obviously aren't living anywhere close to downtown or in close proximity to the beach. We don't go out every single weekend to nightclubs or on staycations. We live a moderate and frugal life on the outskirts of the city. Living in a family-friendly community a bit further away from the city allows us to save a lot more money than we ever could back in Europe. But there are a couple of downsides. For example, if you're not coming here as a freelancer with an established business, you're going to have a bit of a harder time. The job market is extremely saturated right now, so if you're coming here looking for a job, be prepared to have around 5 to 6 months worth of income so you can sustain a life living here, because it takes a really long time to land a job here. Commuting can be annoying since the public transportation system isn't so widespread across the entire city, and basically the heat isn't really for everyone. But in our experience, Dubai has been absolutely worth it after a year, and we will continue to stay here for as long as it financially makes sense for us. And in my opinion, the city is often mispromoted or misrepresented as some kind of influencer paradise and a playground for the rich. And sure, while part of that is true, there is also a family-friendly, quiet side of the city where normal, everyday people like you and me can make a very good living provided that they work hard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a comment down below if you'd like to see more content on our life here in Dubai. And as always, I'll catch you guys very soon. Take care.